Hey guys, this is Dawn Aronoff, and I am a Ruby distributor out of Leawood, Kansas. And what I'd like to do is share a little bit of my Advocare journey with you guys. And I'm just trying to find the perfect lighting, and it's not working out so well. So, what I want you guys to know is I got started with Advocare over 6 years ago, and in fact, in August will be my 7th anniversary. And I will tell you, when I first got started with Advocare, I was introduced by Zahid Buttar. And if you had asked me at the time, do you want extra energy? I would have said no. However, I was falling asleep on the sofa every single day in the afternoon with my kids. If you had asked me, do I need weight loss? I probably would have said no. I've had 4 kids. I now have a 17-year-old, a 15-year-old, a 13-year-old, and a 10-year-old, and I was never carrying a lot of extra baby weight. It wasn't like I had a baby, carried 20 pounds, and by the end of 4 kids, I was 80 pounds heavier. However, I will tell you that I've never been as trim now as I had been in my life, ever. And if you'd asked me if we needed extra income, I probably would have said no. But the truth is, the reality is we had found a way month by month by month, my husband and I, to get by. What we had never found a way to do was to actually get ahead. And so when I got started with Advocare, I was very, very skeptical. And, Z sent me a bunch of packets of Spark, and I essentially gave them to my husband. And I finally got started with the 24-day challenge. And what happened for me is I ended up dropping 2 sizes. I went from a women's size 6 to a 2, and I've kept that off for more than 6 years, which is phenomenal. I'm now 45 years old. And so what happened is I went straight to the 40% discount, and I said yes to the opportunity of doing this as a business because, one, I had really great product results, and number two is I had a lot of great support from both Kim and Z Buttar. And when I did that, in the first month, I was able to earn over $2,000. And what that meant is I had out-earned myself in the classroom. I teach English as a second language at a community college, and I have a master's degree. And I had found out that I could do better, I could create more income with Advocare than I could with my master's degree, which was rather phenomenal. And I will tell you, one of the first things Z told me when I first got started was, you have to get to Success School. And this is something I've rarely shared, is that my very first Success School was not the big national event. I went to a regional event in Iowa, and I remember Z saying, you have to go to Success School. And I'm from Kansas City, so I put my family in the car and we drove up to Iowa. It's about 3 hours, and we stayed in an Embassy Suites where which was kind of like the host hotel. And what happened is the next day I went into an auditorium. It was like a theater, and it was dark, and I knew nobody because Kim and Z, they were at a regional event in Atlanta. So I went to this event without a team and without leaders. And what I recall is sitting in the dark by myself, and I was actually crying. And Joe Hadachek, and I really didn't know who he was, and I didn't know how many lives he had impacted at the time, but what I remember is he was up on stage, and he was like in a full-length black leather coat, and he was talking about Advocare. And I think, I can't even remember the exact words, but I can remember the feeling, and I'm telling you, I was very emotional, and I was crying because I think I got a picture, a slight glimpse of myself and the freedom that I was yearning for. And I could actually start to not just be connected to Kim and Z as people who represented Advocare, but I could be connected to Advocare, and I could start seeing that this was an opportunity that made sense for me. And when I got in the car, the words my husband spoke to me, he said, "You are glowing." And that was amazing, because you have to understand, I didn't go to this event to see anybody that I knew. I'm sitting in the dark by myself, and I still got an amazing message. And going forward, I had a lot of ups and downs, but it was that message that I first heard that has allowed me to this day to stick and stay. And what stick and stay has meant is that despite the fact that I stuck at silver for, probably a good 3.5 years, is at a certain point I decided to start setting goals, and I started seeing acceleration in my business. And as I started hitting bars, and I'd set the bar a little bit higher, and then I would see my business grow. And with my business, as it grew, I also saw my confidence and my team grow. So in this time last year, I had just hit 3-star gold, and in about 6 months later from that, I was able to advance to Ruby. And right now we're looking at, my 7th year anniversary in Advocare and going back to Success School. And I am super duper excited to meet so many new people, to see the faces, because I will tell you, in Advocare, my main purpose is my children, and to be able to provide choices and alternatives for them, and to be able to always be able to say yes in certain situations. But what really drives me in Advocare is, the products are great, and yes, the income is fabulous, but what keeps me here is the people. And I know that year after year when I go to Success School, I get to see the people that I've come to love, admire, and respect and deepen those relationships. So I cannot wait to meet you guys at Success School and get to hear your stories as well.